Welcome into the latest edition of Extra Time. Thank you as always for your tweets. Look, it's here. Frank, Nedum and Jules. Jules, have you recovered from Shaka's, well, just abuse of you yesterday, just shouting at you constantly?
I know him and Craig teaming up against me just because they still thought like football now is the same as when they were playing 30 years ago. I mean, football has changed now. Dressing rooms are different, you know.
Jules,
this is what happens.
Don't start. That winds them up more than anything. They'll say it's still the same game. It's still played the same way. Oh no, you can call them dinosaurs.
As well. Yeah.
Just because they were shouting at you.
Same pace, same preparation, same diet.
For Nedum and Frank, as a player, did any of your managers openly diminish the value of cup competitions, such as the FA Cup or League Cup, because they placed emphasis on the League or Europe? Nedum?
So with some of my managers, they're not necessarily the same sort of standard as Frank's. You know, we had two very different careers. One won a World Cup, one watched it. But I had a manager who was always very keen to bring players in January. So when the FA Cup came, he'd always make 11 changes. We wouldn't prepare in the week in the build-up to the game. We'd leave late from the team hotel to go to the game. We'd get there, not have a clue what we're doing. And then we'd go out and surprise, we'd lose the game. And he says, you guys, you said you wanted a chance. Yeah, still here we are losing the game. So I think anytime I see a manager make 11 changes and the preparation's not the same, you can tell from the get-go. They couldn't care any less about that competition at all.
Was that Mancini again, Nedum?
I didn't play either way, so it definitely wasn't him.
Frank, what about you?
No, never. You know, I want to say to Nedum that we didn't play in the same era. So at the time, at my time, you know, the FA Cup and the League Cup was important cups to play, and we didn't never put the so-called the B team. Everybody was very into it, and we wanted to play every games we could. So even if we were playing with the national team, even if we were playing the Champions League, we wanted to play and to be involved in any tie of the FA Cup, of the League Cup. So I never had any coach telling me, no, we don't want to play that, we're going to put the B or C team. No, I played all of the game with all intensities because we wanted to win it.
Yeah, it's professional. That's why. That's it, Frank. That's why you got a World Cup winners medal, which you never mentioned. Do players actually take criticism from fans seriously? If so, why? Us fans never played past school. We literally have no clue what we're talking about. Do you listen to fans at all when you were playing, Frank?
Well, in a lower division, yes. I remember a guy, you know, on the corner kick. I think I was playing for Laval, and we played to Louan Cuiseau. Don't ask me where that city is. I don't even know. But I remember the corner kick was like maybe 1,000 people in the stand, and the guy say to me, you know why you're here, you stupid man. You know what your wife is doing while you're here. The guy said that to me, and I turn and say, well, I don't know, but I know what your wife is doing. And we got crazy, and we start talking about that. That was insane. That was completely insane. I'm sorry if I'm being rude, but that was crazy. The guy was talking to me, literally.
And you were talking back as well, Frank. Nedum, I imagine at QPR...
Of course, I'm French.
Yes, indeed. You think at Loftus Road, the crowd are really on top of you, aren't you, Nedum? So you must hear a lot.
Oh, yes. We heard a lot of things, especially in the 2 seasons where we got relegated. Yeah, we heard everything. We heard literally everything. But to be honest, the stuff in the stadium doesn't really bother you. It's more so the stuff which doesn't go away, because they'll tweet you, they'll send you an Instagram message, they'll reach out to you however they can, and you know you're not bothered because you completely disagree. But that's the issue. The fact that you completely disagree, you can't respond to them. That's so frustrating sometimes, because I just want to say, what are you talking about? But then instead I just sit there and say, all right, fair enough, I'm gonna have to block these notifications and just try and get on with my life.
What about on the street, Nedum? Would people, like fans, criticise you there as well?
Never. Dan, you've seen me in real life, mate. Nobody does that.
Dan,
Go on,
Dan, I have a story about, and when I was, we played.
Don't involve anybody's wife. Right, go on.
No. We played a tie against Marseille in the Champions League, and we won the second leg at Chelsea, and we put Marseille out. And at the time, the fans of the visiting team was close to the tunnel, and people from Marseille insulted me while I was going out of the field. And I say, well, go back to your place, blah, blah, blah. We started to insult each other and everything. And like a year after, I signed for Marseille. and I was the captain of Marseille. And one of the guys came, and he was a huge guy, huge, I tell you, a monster. And he came to me, said, "Do you remember when you insulted me when I was at Chelsea and you won and you asked us to get out of here?" I said, "Yes." And I said, "Well, I'm dead. I'm gonna be killed in 2 seconds." And the guy said to me, "You know that? I loved it. It's why you're a warrior, Frank." And I was like that after that. I was so scared.
I bet. Nedum, you're waving at us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, I want to bring Jules into this because I want to know, is he more upset by criticism from players about stuff that he says, or more from like the fans who read the stuff that he says? What's more important to you?
Do you think anybody reads his stuff? That's impressive.
The fans are only loving, they're huge fans of mine, of course. So there's hardly any criticism there. From former players on this particular show, of course, there's a bit different. But I think to a certain extent for us, and Gab responds to everything. Like someone's called him an idiot, like it happens a lot on social media. Gab would then engage with the guy for 45 minutes trying to explain why he isn't and that kind of stuff. I said to him, just leave it. I'm very good for just leaving the rubbish and not focusing on it.
Sid's horrible at that as well. Sid interacts with everybody and gets really frustrated with people.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? You wouldn't talk to these people in real life. And why do it on here? To Jules, if Arsenal could afford Erling Haaland, wouldn't he be a perfect fit in this young Arsenal setup under Arteta? He would surely buy into the project.
Yeah, and if Santa Claus existed, I think, it would be a better world. But
Whoa, Jules, what are you doing? What are you doing? Of course he exists.
Well,
I mean,
it's just saying the truth.
If everybody had a lot of money to spend as football clubs, then life would be much better for everyone. The thing is, they can't afford him. He probably would not want to go there. So thanks for the question, but sorry.
Jules, would Manchester City be even better if they signed Ronaldo, or did they dodge a bullet?
Oh, that's a really good one. I mean, that's one we went over a little bit in the summer when he was first linked with them. I don't think I don't think you can fail per se if you play in a Pep Guardiola team, and especially a team as good as this one. I think this team is so good collectively that if you take one out and you put Cristiano in, I think Cristiano will score loads of goals. It will be a success. They might play a bit differently, of course, and adapt to his qualities, and he might not be able to do all the pressing and all that kind of stuff that Pep wants. But I just don't think that Cristiano Ronaldo would have been an issue at Man City in this team, the team that we're seeing now dominating the Premier League. The problem at United is that this is not structurally and also in terms of talent, nowhere near a team as good as the one at City that he would have played in. So at City, I don't think City dodged a bullet or anything like this. He would have been very good at City. City would have been very good with him. It just didn't happen, but United is a very, very different context.
What do you think, Nedum, with your City ways?
Honestly, I'm just trying to be neutral out here. But anyway, I think I agree with Jules there. I think if he came to City, I don't think he wouldn't have failed. I think we would see a different version of City because maybe the pressing wouldn't be like what it is. Maybe it would have been times when maybe you don't see those midfielders playing that little bit higher. But the fact is, he's one of the greatest goal scorers of all time. And I'm pretty sure with the setup the City have, their style of play, the identity, the belief, and all that stuff that they have, I think he would have thrived. And it's a shame he didn't come, but the fact is he wanted to go somewhere else, and he's definitely part of their project at the moment, yeah.
Nedum, ever think you might go into coaching?
They're so politically correct, those two.
What's wrong with you, Frank? Just because you weren't involved in the question, you've got to chip in. What do you want to say?
No, they're so politically correct, you know. We, with all due respect to Cristiano Ronaldo, I always say that to have a megastar on in the team is always a problem. And when you put the squad in, I would say, how do you say that? before every talent and every player, even if it's a Ronaldo, you will have a problem when you have a mega star because you have to play the team around him, which is not the case in the tactic from Guardiola. Yeah, it could have been a big problem to have Ronaldo at City, and I'm pretty sure that it wouldn't have been the same. Maybe Ronaldo would have scored more goals, but the tactic, especially the counter-pressing, would have been an issue if he would have been there.
Nedum, start telling the truth.
Sorry, it's my fault. It's my fault. Sorry. I apologise. Ronaldo would have been a bust. There you go. I said it. You'd have been a bust. Because Frank told me to say it.
I never said that. I never said that.
I'm
Don't
joking.
play the journalist.
I'm joking. Don't be politically correct, Frank. Say it with all your chest.
Yeah. You know me. I'm not.
Nedum, ever think you might go into coaching?
Yes.
Your calm voice would be very welcome in locker rooms.
No, absolutely not. Thank you very much. I think, I've got ideas and so does everybody, but the fact is, I don't want my life to be based around that football schedule anymore. I'm enjoying the freedom to go and do whatever I want, whenever I want, but also make sure I'm back in time to do this show. So no, there's no chance. If it was between coaching and ESPN FC, has to be an evening with Dan Thomas. Has to be.
Hey, it's not even a debate, is it? Jules, and for me, for Dan and Jules, what's the toughest interview you've ever had to do, Jules?
Oh, wow.
So I'll tell you mine. I'll tell you mine as you're thinking, because we had Pele on, and it was a live show. And it was like the Friday before the Super Bowl, and he was going, I think it was a Subway thing. And I thought, it'd be a good last question to ask who he thinks is going to win the Super Bowl. Did not go well at all. He just waffled on for 2 minutes, clearly not understanding what he said. And I doubled down. I asked him again afterwards, like an idiot. No, but who do you think is going to win the Super Bowl? He had no clue. And it was like, we'll run out of time. It was just one of those moments. You're like, Dan, just stop talking. What are you doing? So, yeah, that was very bad. Strachan was hard work as well when I first started interviewing people. That's when I first started on the job. But Gordon Strachan was a good person to kind of start with because he took no nonsense, took no prisoners. If you asked a stupid question, he would tell you. You knew you had to be kind of prepared going into it.
Yeah, I mean, some of them, and it's not that I don't want to name names, but it's just that this is not their thing. They don't really like it. Often their answers are shorter than your question, which is very awkward because you say, and you get into your question and you put rhythm in and enthusiasm, and they go like literally 3 words. Yeah, I think we played well. Okay, this is going to be a long, long moment,
Yeah.
And I think that's the ones that, and it's just this is not their thing. That's it.
Yeah. Thierry Henry was a bit annoying as well when I interviewed him. It might just be a French thing. I don't know. Because it was when I think.
What was it?
I think it's when Mourinho came out and called Wenger, what was it, something of failure, like the master of failure or something like that. And I asked Henri about it, and he goes, "I have nothing to say." And I'm like, "Oh, gotta say something, crikey, at least." But there we are. Do you get on with Thierry Henry, Frank?
Excuse me,
Do you like Thierry Henry?
I have nothing to say.
Wow, there you are, you see?
No. Of course I love Thierry. Of course I love Thierry. Are you kidding me or what? I love Thierry.
Final question. Tell us your best, worst own goal story. Nedum, this is right up your alley.
Oh, leave it out, you clown. Do you know what? I didn't score that many. I think maybe 2 or 3. And I don't remember the details about them being funny, but there was one game, and I'm going to throw someone else under the bus because it was Richard Dunn, who's got the second most, I think, in Premier League history. And we were playing against West Brom, and they actually beat us 1-0 when we were at Man City. And they didn't have a shot, but it was that Richard Dunn own goal in the last minute of the game, which crossed the line with Robert Earnshaw sprinting as quick as I've seen any human being in the history of the world to try and get a toe onto the end of it. That meant that we lost the game 1-0 without the opposition having a shot. And unfortunately, that's probably my biggest own goal memory, and thankfully it wasn't my own.
Wow. So your own goal memory is somebody else, because you've blanked your own goals from your brain.
Yes, sir. That's the way you do it.
Frank, you'll remember your own goals, I bet.
I guess there are some. There is one I remember. It was a derby, Strasbourg against Metz, and it was in Metz. And I tried to tackle on the cross, and while he went in. But I remember one back pass that I made to Fabien Barthez with the national team, and he tried to kick the ball, and there was a bound just before him, and he missed the ball, but the ball went just out. And I would have very be upset to hear that I made an own goal because he missed the ball. So I would have suggested that it was his own goal, but I fortunately went just out.
That is it, boys. Thank you so much. Just a reminder, ESPN FC will be back on your screens tomorrow. Be sure to join us. Kay Murray will be in the hot seat.